The highly anticipated report examining the devastating impact of the conflict on civilians details a series of violations and abuses, including unlawful killings, extrajudicial executions, sexual and gender-based violence, and the forced displacement of civilians, among others.
We have reasonable grounds to believe that during this period, all parties to the Tigray conflict have committed violations of international human rights, humanitarian and refugee law. Some of these may amount to war crimes and crimes against humanity. Civilians in Tigray have been subjected to brutal violence and suffering. The Joint Investigation Team uncovered numerous violations and abuses, including unlawful killings and extrajudicial executions, torture, sexual and gender-based violence, violations against refugees, and forced displacement of civilians.
The report covers the period from early November 2020 until the end of June this year, a timeline from when the armed conflict began until the Ethiopian government declared a unilateral ceasefire on the 28th of June this year, in a conflict that has pitted the Ethiopian National Defense Force, allied with the Eritrean Defense Force, the Amhara Special Forces, the Amhara Fano and other militias on the one side, against the Tigrayan Special Forces, Tigrayan militia and their allied groups. The report found that the majority of violations documented in the reporting period were committed by Ethiopian and Eritrean forces, but officials have since noted an increasing number of allegations of human rights abuses by Tigrayan forces as well.
The family of 4 killed in Aider, Mekele, as their house was shelled, reportedly by the Ethiopian National Defense Forces without any apparent military justification. The 26-year-old woman in Adyet, who was gang-raped by Eritrean Defense Force soldiers in front of her 3-year-old daughter. The man in Maikadra, attacked with machetes by the Samri Tigrayan youth group, shot in the back and thrown into a fire. I want to amplify here today what victims and survivors of violations convey to our joint investigation team. They want their means of livelihoods restored. They want reparations for destroyed homes and all they have lost. They want to know the truth about what happened to their loved ones, for all sides to acknowledge their role in the suffering they have inflicted on them, and for the perpetrators to be brought to justice.
The Office of the U.S. Trade Representative this week warning that Ethiopia, along with Mali and Guinea, would be terminated from AGOA as of January 1st, absent urgent action to meet statutory eligibility criteria, which includes the rule of law and political pluralism.
We could proceed down one path that would inevitably lead to sanctions and other measures, or we go down another path on which we could revitalize the positive, promising bilateral relationship that was expanding to new heights when Prime Minister Abiy took office. The United States wants the latter. We sincerely want to chart a more productive path out of the current crisis. We do not want Ethiopia to lose its AGOA trade benefits or its international assistance. We are prepared to exercise leadership in the international community to energize the support needed for Ethiopia's recovery from war and to realize the Prime Minister's ambitious economic and job creation agenda. That remains our desired destination.
Earlier Wednesday, and in a sign that the conflict was far from over, Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed warned they would bury the enemy with their blood and bones and make the glory of Ethiopia rise again. Sherwin Brycebees, SABC News, New York.